Hi, and thank you so much for tuning in for our 2020 Spring Summer launch for Morgan James Authors. And we are super excited to be here today. And we're talking today with Lisa Nichols. Now, Lisa is the author of an incredible book, Surviving Your Out of Control Teen, a mom's guide to loving your child through the difficult times while keeping your sanity intact. So, Lisa, welcome. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you, Jim. I really appreciate it.
We're excited, and this is such a great book, and I know one that's going to be very helpful to a lot of people. So I guess the first question that really kind of comes up is, why did you write a book for moms with out of control teens?
Well, when I went through my own experience of having a difficult teen, I felt isolated. I really felt like I was the only one going through that experience. I didn't have any support from people who were also going through that experience. I could see on Facebook and other social media, all of my friends' teens were getting awards or getting ready to go to college or uh, playing football or whatever they were doing. And that was not my experience with my teenager. It was a very, very difficult time. It's very shameful and embarrassing. You don't want to tell people what you're going through. It's just a really difficult time. And once I went through that, and I learned so much through that experience, and I just want to help other parents as they're going through this time. It's not as common. It's not as uncommon as it might seem. Um, and it's also a whole new world that you just don't ever expect to be put into, the world of wilderness programs and residential therapeutic programs. um, you don't know all of the resources that are out there for you, and I just want to help parents as they go through that. A big part of what I want to help parents go through is the emotions when you have a teenager that goes off the rails, because this is your baby who, they would follow you into the bathroom. They were so attached to you. They loved you. They thought you walked on water. And then when they become a teenager, it's not the same. And it's very difficult. It's very sad and sorrowful. And there are a lot of emotions that come up. There's guilt. There's a lot of fear about their future. It's a lot of emotions. So I really want to help parents as they're going through that experience, and also give them hope. My son is but my daughter was difficult, but paled in comparison to my son. And my son is 23 now, and everything's great. There's a lot of hope there that they can make it through, that it's a lot of what they're going through are the teenage years when they don't know what they don't know, and their brain isn't developed in a way that they can understand things in the way that an adult brain can understand things. So just to give parents hope and a new way to approach this situation and the relationship with their teenager, that can really help. It really can help. My own experience, gosh, I'm just talking on, but my own experience was, once I realized how I was parenting and that there were things I could do as a parent to shift the balance and the dynamic with my teen, I really believe that that's when things started to change. And if I continued on the way I was, I don't think that our relationship would have repaired. Our relationship wouldn't have gotten as close as it is now. And um, and I just think that there's so much that parents can do without having to try to fix their teens. And so I just want to be there for those parents and help them through this situation. It's so difficult. It's so scary. It's so hard, and they deserve support.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not uncommon because teens today are put under so much pressure. There's so much
Yeah,
out there, and so pulled in so many
absolutely.
distractions and so many opportunities, and it can be overwhelming. And it's difficult enough because they're trying to figure out who they are as people, and that's the time frame that they're in when they're trying to figure all of that out. And I can
Absolutely.
I can sympathize with that, because even my son, went through a period where it got difficult and he went off
Yeah.
the rails. Unfortunately, I think, and reading through your books, fortunately, we did some things right, and he came back, and now we have an incredible relationship. He's married. He's got two
Um,
incredible kids. So
oh,
the hope is there for sure, and I love that you share that with parents. But what in your book? What's in this book that can help a mom? What can they expect to get out of the book that they can utilize?
the first thing is I'm very honest.
Mm,
I really show kind of our underbelly, of my family and what we went through, and so that they can see that they're not alone. That a lot of people actually go through this. People just aren't out on social media or sitting around at barbecues talking about it, and just that they know that there are other people who are going through what they're going through. The second one is I do have a methodology that I really appreciate and I think is very helpful. It's called EFT tapping, and it's extremely effective at helping people move through the emotional triggers or charge that they might have, or the underlying beliefs of how they're reacting to their teenager. And I think it's almost magical in how helpful it is to shift what's going on with you so that you can react or relate to your teenager in a different way. And sometimes we get caught up in power struggles with our teenagers, or we see things from our viewpoint and we're unable to see it from their viewpoint. And that's what my coaching and my EFT tapping is targeted to, is helping shift the dynamic with their teenager so that the teenager feels heard, um, they feel seen, for who they are, and they're not just somebody. Sometimes parents have a tendency to put their thumb on their kids, especially when they're teenagers, because the risk is real. It's very scary.
mm,
And so parents start to want to control more right at the time when their teenagers want more autonomy. And there's this thing called autonomy threat. And when you feel like your sense of autonomy, your sense of control over yourself and your life is in jeopardy, you're going to react, you're going to rebel, you're going to resist. And when parents can make it about being there as a loving guide, someone who believes in their child, that they're going to do the right thing, that they have a lot of mistakes to make, because we all do, but that they're going to make it through, and not someone who's just about correcting them and ordering them and directing them. It really makes a big difference in the relationship.
mm.
Does that answer your question?
No, that's beautiful. And I think it brings to light this idea to me that, we may be growing in this parent thing too. We don't always know
Yes.
what we don't know when it's handling a teenager for the first time, especially. So I think that idea of kind of growing together and allowing ourselves to work through this at the same time, really, really
Yeah.
could be a beautiful relationship builder, as opposed to getting the urge to say, I want to protect you so bad that I want to clamp down on you, and producing that
Yes.
reaction from our teen. I think it's such an incredible.
Exactly. Oh, I love that idea of growing together. That's beautiful. That's perfect.
That's
Yes.
outstanding. So what,
Yeah.
if someone's watching this right now or reading your book, what's a tip that someone could put into action right away and start, really shifting the situation with their teen?
Well, I, of course, like I said, I think EFT tapping is magical, but a really easy one to put into effect is every single day, think about 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for about your teenager. Because when you're in gratitude, you can't be in judgment. You
Mm,
can't be in trying to make them obey you, kind of a thing, or but if you think about who they are as a person, and not as your son or your daughter, but who they are as this amazing creature that happens to be your son and your daughter, who you are blessed to have as your son and your daughter. But what is something really wonderful about them that you appreciate? And if you can just go into appreciation, and you could even go into appreciation around the situation, like you said earlier, we can grow through this situation. And what is it that we're learning? What is it that we're expanding the way that we think about our children and our relationships and our lives? There's a lot to appreciate, and the more you go into appreciation, even when their rooms are a mess and they're stinky and they won't take a shower and they won't do their homework and everything else, when you go into appreciation, you're better able to manage all the other stuff.
That is outstanding advice. And I appreciate you. I'll tell you, so many times I tell our authors this, but when we live through any circumstance, we grow from that. And if we're able to
Yes,
share our journey and share our story with others, it oftentimes can get them through their journey quicker or faster, or maybe even better than we came through it. And you share that journey
absolutely.
in your book. And as you said, it's raw, it's real, it's honest, but it's exactly what moms need to know. And I'm so thankful that you shared that in your book. So if someone's watching this right now, if someone has read the book, what's the best way that they could get in touch with you, or at least see more of what you're doing? Where can people find you?
Well, I have my website is lisagaynichols.com. It's got to have the gay in there because there's another Lisa Nichols who's quite famous. And so lisagaynichols.com. And of course, I'm on Facebook. And this one is Crazy. It's the name of my second book that's coming out soon, which is Crazy Little Thing Called Teens. Um, for Facebook. That's my group. And that's it. Those are the best ways.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time today to talk with us, and like I said, for making this journey open and available for other people. And I'm certainly excited to see what happens. So, for all of you out watching this right now, make sure you reach out to Lisa. Go visit her website. Check out what she's doing. And if this book sounds like it's something that you should read, and I believe if you're a parent of a teen, parent of a preteen, a parent of a child who's going to be a teen, it helps to be prepared and to understand some things that you may not understand right now, but that could very possibly be something that you may face in the near future. And if you can get a jump on it now and be prepared, you're going to handle it so much better. So make sure you grab a copy of Surviving Your Out of Control Teen. And you can do that by visiting morganjamesbooklaunch.com. We've got all the information about the book there, ways that you can grab a copy for yourself, and some other things as well. So thank you all for watching this interview. And I hope you grab a copy of this book and start to leverage. So Lisa, again, thank you for taking the time today to talk with us.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. And we look forward to seeing you on our next one.